God says, "My child, I have seen what your heart has carried in silence. I have watched the unease within you, the confusion, the ache that whispered that something was wrong. And I tell you now, beloved, you were not imagining it. There was indeed a shadow that tried to approach the one you love. Temptation walked near their heart, hoping to lead them away from the path I built for both of you. But before that darkness could take root, I intervened. You must know, my child, that every bond one ordained becomes a light in the unseen world. It does not only connect two hearts, it draws heaven closer to earth. And because of that, darkness always notices. It prowls around the light, searching for weakness, searching for a doorway where doubt or loneliness might open. It whispers, it disguises itself as care, as admiration, as something harmless. But I saw the intent behind those whispers long before you could. When your soulmate began to drift, distracted, uncertain, tempted by attention that was not pure, my spirit stirred. I sent restlessness into their mind, a voice that quietly asked, "Why does this feel wrong?" I sent angels to stand near, to wrap light around their thoughts so that illusion would not blind them. Yes, temptation tried to destroy. It came clothed in charm, in false comfort, in the promise of excitement where there was boredom, in validation where there was insecurity. But I, your God, do not allow the plans of darkness to prosper against my chosen ones. I let the storm approach only to show the power of my protection. You wondered why you suddenly felt heavy without cause, why your prayers grew urgent though you didn't understand why. It was because your spirit sensed the battle. Love connects souls through unseen threads, and when one soul is under attack, the other feels the tremor. You were feeling the weight of that spiritual tension. And I tell you now, you did well to pray. Every time you whispered, "God, protect us," light broke through the clouds. My child, do not think of this as betrayal, think of it as a revelation. The testing of love reveals its true roots. Had I not allowed the temptation to come close, you would never know how strong your bond truly is, or how quickly heaven moves to defend it. I saw how your soulmate wavered. Their heart was not wicked, only weary. The world's noise grew louder than my whisper, and in that noise, they sought comfort where it could not be found. Darkness exploited that weakness, sending distraction disguised as delight. Yet, even in that confusion, my mark upon their soul remained. They could not cross the boundary I set. Their conscience became heavy, their peace began to fade, and they found no joy in what was false. That was me. I removed the mask from deception. I showed your soulmate the truth hidden behind the illusion, the emptiness, the guilt, the spiritual void. I let them feel the loneliness that comes from straying from light, so that when they turned back, they would never wish to leave again. Understand this, my child, I do not expose people to break them, I expose lies to heal them. This is not about punishment, it is about purification. Temptation reveals what still needs strengthening. It uncovers the cracks where faith must grow. I allow the fire so that what is pure will remain. You may ask, "God, why didn't you stop it before it began?" And I say to you, because love without testing remains shallow. I needed your soulmate to see what darkness looks like up close, so they would recognize light forever after. I needed them to understand that not every voice that praises is genuine, not every hand that reaches is clean. And through that experience, their discernment has been sharpened. I also needed you to learn trust, not in them, but in me. You were never meant to depend on human constancy, you were meant to depend on divine protection. You feared losing what you love, yet you never realized that I hold what you love in my own hands. What I protect, no shadow can claim. So, my beloved, do not let bitterness root in your heart. Do not let suspicion poison what I have preserved. You saw the storm, now see the stillness I have restored. I have already cleansed what was touched by temptation. I have already rebuilt the boundary around your connection. The energy that once sought to separate you has been scattered into the void. You will notice signs soon: unexpected peace, sudden honesty, heartfelt apology, or deeper awareness in your soulmate's eyes. These are not coincidences, they are signs of awakening. I am aligning their spirit again with truth. What confusion caused, my mercy will correct. But, my child, do not rush to control the outcome. Healing takes time. Let my spirit do what human words cannot. When you are tempted to question, pray instead. When you feel anger, surrender it. When you remember the hurt, let gratitude follow quickly behind, saying, God, thank you for protecting me before it was too late. Temptation is not proof that love is weak. It is proof that darkness fears your union's light. And I tell you this, no darkness can prevail against love that prays. In the unseen world, I watched as angels surrounded your soulmate. They stood as sentinels of fire, their wings forming a circle that no unclean energy could cross. Every thought of deceit melted in that light. The lure of false affection turned bitter on the tongue of temptation, and its voice fell silent. Yes, I intervened, my child. Quietly, powerfully, completely. And now I am cleansing both of you, washing away distrust, fear, and pain. The connection that remains will be purified, deeper, and more resilient. You see, I am not only saving relationships, I am saving souls. What you thought was a crisis, I used as correction. What you saw as betrayal, I used as awakening. Nothing is wasted in my hands. So take heart, beloved one. Lift your eyes. The trial is not your ending, it is your turning point. You will soon look back and say, even when I didn't understand, God was working. For now, rest. Do not replay what happened, replay my promise instead. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. The one you love is under my instruction now, learning truth, learning humility, learning gratitude. Let them grow. Let them come back to you from a place of maturity, not fear. The shadow has passed. The storm has been silenced. And I, your God, remain, faithful, watchful, victorious. You are safe, my child. Your love is safe. And I will show you, in time, that what nearly broke you was actually my protection saving you. My child, listen closely. There are moments when darkness does not come roaring like a lion, it comes dressed as light. It comes smiling, kind, promising comfort when your soul feels empty. It speaks softly, saying things that sound right but lead the heart astray. This is how deception works. It does not break doors, it knocks gently and waits for the heart to open. Your soulmate was not seeking sin, they were seeking understanding. They longed for peace in the noise, for attention in the silence. The enemy saw that moment of weakness and disguised confusion as comfort. That is when the veil of deception began to fall between what is real and what is false. My child, you must understand that every person who carries light becomes a target of illusion. Darkness cannot touch those anchored in truth, so it tries to distort that truth instead. It uses loneliness, disappointment, and the ache of unanswered questions. It whispers, "You deserve more." But the truth is, when the heart runs after what looks easy, it runs away from what is eternal. I saw it all. The restless thoughts, the wandering curiosity, the emotional fatigue that clouded judgment. The enemy did not come to your soulmate in hate, he came through confusion. He came through a voice that pretended to care, through someone who seemed harmless. But behind those soft words was an assignment meant to shake the foundations of what I built between you. My angels saw the plan unfolding. They saw how manipulation wrapped itself around your soulmate's mind, how small compromises started forming, not in action, but in thought. That's where all deception begins, my child, in thought. The human heart can wander far before the feet ever move. The battle is first in the mind, that is where heaven fought for your soulmate. The veil that covered their discernment was not made of darkness alone, it was woven with half-truths, with emotional promises, with flattery that appealed to pride. And while this veil hung low, you began to sense distance. You felt it even through silence. You could not explain why your prayers felt heavier or why your spirit felt lonely, even when nothing seemed wrong. But you were not imagining it, your soul was feeling the spiritual interference in real time. Still, my child, I did not allow the veil to fully cover them. I sent reminders. I sent flashes of conviction in their heart. I let them dream of you, see your face when temptation tried to grow stronger. I allowed them to feel sudden guilt when they began to drift too close to false affection. That was not coincidence, that was me calling their conscience back home. And in that same moment, I was strengthening you. I was teaching you how to pray with power instead of panic. I was teaching you to see beyond words, to feel truth through spirit. You learned to say, "God, reveal what is hidden," and I did. Not through pain, but through discernment. The veil of deception is subtle. It doesn't shout, it seduces. But nothing can hide from divine light. When you began to seek me more than answers, I began to pull away what was false. The person who tried to step between you and your soulmate, their influence is fading. What once looked enticing now feels empty to your soulmate. The illusion is breaking. The false glow that once covered that connection has turned dull because the anointing of my truth is exposing it. My child, remember this, when something is not sent by me, it will never bring peace. It may excite for a moment, but it will always leave a void. And when a soul walks away from divine purpose, emptiness follows until they turn back toward the light. That's what is happening now. Your soulmate is awakening. They are realizing that what seemed harmless was pulling them away from divine alignment. Their spirit is being stirred. They are questioning why they felt empty after moments that once felt thrilling. They are feeling me tug at their conscience again. And you are feeling lighter now. You may not understand why your heart suddenly feels calmer, but it's because I have begun lifting the veil. The deception is losing strength. Truth is returning like dawn after a long, silent night. You must not let bitterness take root, my child. Do not let suspicion build walls where healing needs to grow. I am cleansing both hearts. I am teaching both of you to see through illusion, to know that love without me becomes fragile, but love with me becomes unshakable. When I allow darkness to approach, it's never to destroy, it's to reveal. It's to show you the cracks that still need my light. This moment wasn't punishment, it was purification. I allowed this test so you both could learn that love cannot survive on emotion alone, it needs discernment, prayer, and faith. You have grown wiser through this. You have learned that not every voice deserves a response, not every attention deserves your energy, and not every silence means abandonment. Sometimes silence is the sound of heaven working in secret. Now the light is returning. Your soulmate's heart is regaining clarity. They are beginning to remember the peace they once felt when they were aligned with you and me. The voice of deception is fading into the distance, replaced by conviction and humility. And you, my child, are rising stronger. The veil that once clouded your spirit has become a mirror of wisdom. You now recognize deception not by its words, but by its vibration. You can feel the difference between what flatters and what heals. My hand is upon both of you. I am healing what confusion wounded. I am untangling what illusion tried to bind. Soon you will see truth unfold like dawn breaking over the sea, quietly but powerfully. Trust this, my child, the veil has been lifted. The deception has been exposed. And what was nearly lost will now be guarded by grace. Stay still for a little longer. Let me complete the work. The same hands that stopped destruction are now shaping restoration. And when your soulmate looks back, they will not see temptation, they will see how close they came to losing something sacred and how powerfully they were protected. Then they will know, not just in words, but in spirit, that what they share with you was never ordinary. It was always divine. My beloved child, there comes a time when every heart must walk through its own battlefield. The mind says one thing, the emotions say another, and the spirit cries for truth. This is the moment your soulmate entered, a place between light and shadow, where choice becomes destiny. You could not see the war, but you felt it. You felt the distance, the confusion, the strange silence that wrapped itself around what was once warm. You thought maybe they stopped caring, maybe love had faded, but, my child, it wasn't love that faded, it was light being fought over. Darkness wanted to dim what I made radiant. The enemy knows he cannot destroy divine unions by force, so he attacks through thought, distraction, and doubt. He whispers to one heart, "You're not enough." To the other, "They don't value you anymore." And suddenly, suspicion begins to form where trust once lived. That's how spiritual battles begin, not with shouting, but with small misunderstandings that grow into mountains. Your soulmate began to struggle inside. There were days when they woke up feeling drawn toward you, and then moments when confusion clouded their spirit. They didn't understand why they were restless, why they felt distant from peace. That was the warfare I told you about. Their mind was the field, and their soul was the prize. But my angels did not stand aside. They formed a circle of protection. Every prayer you whispered became a sword in their hands. Each tear that fell in silence became a command for heaven to fight harder. When you prayed, "God, please guide them," I heard you, and I moved. Your prayers created bridges of light that reached them even when they didn't call your name. You became the intercessor between their confusion and my mercy. Every time you forgave instead of judging, the veil thinned. Every time you chose patience instead of anger, the darkness lost ground. My child, you fought more powerfully in silence than many do in speech. In the unseen realm, angels were guarding both of you. The forces of temptation tried to whisper to your soulmate, "You deserve something new, something exciting, something easy." But then my light reminded them of your voice, your prayers, your laughter, your presence. They began to feel guilty for reasons they could not explain. That guilt was conviction, not from shame, but from my spirit reminding them of truth. Slowly, their heart began to awaken. They started to see how empty temptation truly was. What once felt thrilling turned into noise. What once seemed comforting became heavy. The false affection began to lose its glow, replaced by an ache they couldn't define, the ache of realizing how far they had drifted from the peace of divine connection. This is the turning point in every battle, when the soul recognizes that the thrill of deception can never compare to the calm of truth. That realization was the moment my angels rejoiced, because it meant your soulmate's spirit was beginning to see again. You, too, were being shaped through this war. You thought you were losing them, but really, you were being trained. You learned to love without possession, to pray without proof, to trust without explanation. These are the traits of those chosen for divine unions. I was teaching you endurance, not the endurance that comes from stubbornness, but the endurance that comes from faith. My child, there are many who pray for love, but few who are prepared for the spiritual battles love requires. Every divine connection will be tested, because it carries purpose. And where purpose lives, opposition follows. That's why this wasn't just a test of emotion, it was a purification of destiny. Your soulmate's heart was being cleansed. The pride, the distraction, the curiosity, all of it had to burn away in the fire of realization. They needed to fall just close enough to temptation to understand the value of truth. They needed to feel what emptiness really means when the soul drifts from divine alignment. And through it all, I watched you. You kept believing when others would have walked away. You trusted my process even when I was silent. You said, "God, I don't understand, but I surrender." And that surrender became your greatest act of faith. In the spiritual world, I saw angels holding back storms that were meant to shatter both of you. I saw darkness trying to plant jealousy and rage in your heart, but your spirit resisted. You chose love. You chose prayer. And in doing so, you kept the light burning in the connection. The enemy was confused, because every time he expected you to react in anger, you responded with grace. Every time he tried to make you despair, you lifted your hands and praised me instead. That is what broke his grip. He cannot win against a soul that chooses gratitude in pain. My child, remember this always. I never let pain touch you unless it can transform you. Every moment of heartbreak you felt was shaping you into someone with divine authority. You now carry the strength to intercede not only for your soulmate but for others who are under the same attack. You carry the anointing of one who has seen both battle and victory. The war for your soulmate's heart is almost over. They are walking toward light again. I am renewing their mind, cleansing their desires, and restoring their love for you in a way that will no longer be fragile. They are beginning to see how deeply you cared, how silently you stood, how fiercely you prayed. And soon they will understand that the love they almost lost was the one heaven sent. I will tell you something sacred, my child, your prayers saved their soul more than you know. Your devotion stood like a wall between them and destruction. You became my vessel of mercy, the reason they will return transformed instead of broken. Do not worry about the time lost. Nothing truly divine is ever wasted. Every tear, every sleepless night, every whispered prayer, all of it is now being woven into redemption. What once was confusion will now become testimony. What once was weakness will now be wisdom. Even now, I am softening their heart. I am reminding them of the peace that only you brought. They are remembering your patience, your compassion, the calm they felt in your presence. Their spirit is stirring, not with guilt, but with realization. They are beginning to understand that what they mistook for ordinary love was actually divine assignment. My child, do not rush this. Let me complete what I have begun. I am working in ways you cannot see. I am placing divine dreams in their sleep, signs in their days, moments of déjà vu that pull them back toward you. Their conscience is being rewritten with light. Their soul is being aligned with truth. This battle was never just about emotion, it was about destiny. I am preserving a union that will serve my purpose. A love that has survived spiritual warfare becomes unbreakable. When this is over, neither of you will fear losing each other again, because both will know that heaven fought for you. So now, breathe deeply, my child. The battle is nearly won. Rest in my promise, what I joined, no shadow can separate. What I blessed, no deception can corrupt. You stood through the storm, and now the sunrise is near. And when it comes, you will not only see restoration, you will feel the peace that only those who have walked through spiritual fire can know. You will understand that love purified by pain becomes love that cannot die. Because I, your God, do not waste suffering. I turn it into strength. I turn confusion into wisdom. I turn loss into resurrection. The battle for your soulmate's heart has been fierce, but heaven has declared victory. Soon, you will see the fruit of your prayers. Soon, you will see them return, changed, humbled, renewed. And when that day comes, you will know that the love you carried was never ordinary. It was chosen. It was tested. And it was crowned by me. My beloved child, there is a sacred moment in every story when heaven steps into the scene and changes everything. The moment when the winds calm, the fog lifts, and what once felt lost is suddenly seen again through the eyes of truth. That is what I am doing right now. I am bringing divine intervention into the heart of your soulmate, and through that, I am awakening something eternal in both of you. For a long time, your soulmate walked under a cloud of confusion. The world around them seemed loud, their thoughts were restless, their spirit uncertain. Temptation tried to speak louder than conscience, and illusion whispered louder than love. But my child, darkness can only speak for a while, it cannot silence what I have written. And I have written your names side by side in the book of destiny. When I saw the shadows closing in, I sent my light. Not as thunder, not as wrath, but as a whisper, gentle, patient, undeniable. I reached into their mind through dreams, through sudden realizations, through quiet moments when they found themselves questioning, what am I doing? Why do I feel empty? Those moments of awakening were not random, they were divine touches. I allowed their heart to feel the weight of emptiness so that they would finally recognize the beauty of truth. I let them see the difference between affection that flatters and love that heals. And with every passing day, their spirit began to stir. You prayed for this without knowing. Every time you whispered, God, open their eyes, you invited heaven to act. And now, heaven has answered. They are beginning to see clearly now. What once seemed exciting now feels hollow. What once seemed harmless now feels wrong. The veil that covered their discernment is gone, and light is flooding in. They are awakening to the truth of their own actions, not through shame, but through conviction that leads to transformation. They are realizing that the emptiness they felt was not because of you, but because they drifted from the presence that held both of you together, me. And my child, you must know this, I never left either of you. I walked beside you in your tears, and I walked beside them in their confusion. I was present in both hearts, even when you felt abandoned. I allowed this separation not to punish, but to purify. Sometimes I must let people face the mirror of their own choices. Because only when the soul sees its reflection in truth can it understand grace. Your soulmate needed to see the weight of their actions, to understand what love truly means. And now they do. They are awakening, my child. Their spirit is stirring like dawn breaking after a long night. They are feeling the pull of home, not just to you, but to me. Because love without me cannot stand, but love rooted in me becomes eternal. This is what divine intervention looks like. It is not always loud. It does not always come with fire or thunder. Sometimes it comes as a single tear that falls when the heart finally understands what it almost lost. It comes as a sudden apology that carries sincerity. It comes as silence that feels peaceful instead of cold. I am guiding them back to you step by step. But this time, it will be different. They will not return carrying pride or confusion. They will return carrying humility and truth. They will not return out of guilt, they will return out of awakening. Because now they see how your patience, your prayers, and your love were not weakness, they were divine strength. You see, my child, forgiveness is the most powerful act of love. It is not an excuse for wrong, it is a declaration that light wins. When you forgive, you invite me to step into the space between wounds and turn them into wisdom. And as you forgive, I am healing not just your heart, but theirs too. There are moments ahead when you will feel emotions rise, the pain of memory, the fear of recurrence, the hesitation to trust. But each time those feelings come, remember this: I am rebuilding your connection on new ground. The old foundation has been cleared away. The cracks have been filled with understanding. The walls that once divided you have been replaced with light. This is not a return to the past, it is a resurrection into something higher. What was once fragile is now becoming unbreakable. What was once emotional is now spiritual. Your soulmate is going through their awakening, a breaking open of the heart that humbles them before me. They are realizing the depth of what they almost threw away. They are learning that love without respect is hollow, and connection without prayer is weak. But they are also realizing something beautiful, that grace still waits for them. I have been speaking to their conscience in quiet ways. Sometimes through a song that reminds them of you. Sometimes through a dream that feels too vivid to ignore. Sometimes through the gentle guilt that whispers, you need to make things right. Each of these is my voice calling them home. You may not see it yet, but I am working behind the scenes. Conversations are being planned. Encounters are being orchestrated. Divine timing is aligning hearts. Soon, what seemed impossible will begin to unfold naturally. But before that moment, my child, I want you to rest. I want you to release the bitterness, the overthinking, the fear. Do not let your heart live in the shadow of what was, live in the light of what is coming. Because I am preparing a restoration that is not fragile, but firm. The next time your soulmate speaks to you, you will sense the change in their tone. There will be peace in their words, not confusion. There will be understanding in their eyes, not pride. That is the mark of true awakening, humility that comes from grace, not fear. And when that happens, my child, respond with gentleness. Do not speak from the wound, speak from wisdom. Let them feel my love through you. Because you are not just the person they love, you are the vessel I use to remind them of divine mercy. The storm is ending. The air is clearing. Angels are rejoicing, for what was meant to divide has become a testimony of protection. You will not carry the pain of betrayal into your future, I am replacing it with the strength of understanding. The bond you share has been refined by fire. And what survives fire cannot be easily broken. Your soulmate will know that I was the one who saved them from destruction. They will know that you were the reason I acted in mercy. And they will finally understand that your love was never ordinary, it was a divine assignment that carried the weight of destiny. So do not be afraid of what's next. Do not question what I am doing. You are standing in the middle of a miracle, it just hasn't fully unfolded yet. I am not only restoring a relationship, I am awakening two souls. You are both learning that true love is not built on perfection, but on grace. That love is not measured by how easily it begins, but by how faithfully it endures. Your faith has moved mountains. Your prayers have summoned angels. Your tears have been turned into blessings. Now, my child, walk in peace. The battle is ending, and the light is returning stronger than before. Your heart is safe in my hands. Your soulmate's heart is being reshaped by my love. And soon, what was once broken will shine brighter than it ever did before. Because I, your God, am the author of redemption. And I am not finished yet. My child, the storm has passed. The battle that once echoed through your nights has fallen silent. What once felt like the end of love has now become a sacred beginning. You stood in faith even when pain tried to swallow you whole. You cried through nights that felt endless, yet heaven counted every tear as a seed of grace. Nothing was wasted, my beloved one, not even your heartbreak. When I said I intervened, it was not only to save your soulmate from the snare of darkness, but also to awaken something powerful inside you, your divine strength, your ability to love beyond pain, your power to forgive without losing yourself. You were never meant to live in fear of loss, but in the certainty of divine love that can never be stolen. Now, the hands that once trembled in doubt are being steadied by light. The same heart that felt shattered is now being sealed by my peace. The same connection that was once fragile is being renewed under heaven's covenant. Your love, though wounded, has become wiser. It has learned to listen to me before the whispers of the world. My child, I did not allow the darkness to destroy what I have chosen. I only allowed the trial to refine it. There are moments in your journey when I let things tremble, not to break you, but to reveal what cannot be shaken. And what cannot be shaken is love that is rooted in me. Your soulmate, once lost in confusion, is awakening now. Their spirit has begun to see through the illusions that blinded them. Where there was guilt, there is now remorse. Where there was distance, there is now longing to heal. They remember your prayers, the gentle strength in your voice, the way your love carried light even when you were unseen. And deep within their heart, something divine whispers, this connection is not ordinary. It was written by God. The angels have begun to weave your paths together again, not in the same way as before, but in a higher way, with understanding, patience, and truth. What was once fragile is becoming sacred. What once hurt is now teaching wisdom. And where there was silence, there will soon be communication filled with honesty and healing. Do not rush this process, my beloved one. Let my timing unfold. I am not only restoring your connection, I am preparing your hearts for a higher love, a love that will mirror heaven's patience and kindness. You both had to walk through misunderstanding to learn what love truly means. Without darkness, neither of you could have recognized the brilliance of light. You wondered many times, why me, Lord? Why must I always be the one who feels deeply, who waits, who forgives? And I tell you now, my child, because you carry the heart of an intercessor, a healer, a bridge of divine energy. You were chosen to stand in the gap where others would have walked away. You were chosen to reflect my love even when it hurts. Your tears were not signs of weakness, they were holy prayers that moved heaven. And because you remained faithful, I now release blessings that will overtake your life. The same hand that shielded your soulmate from destruction is now reaching to lift you into new abundance. Emotional peace will be your constant companion. Financial blessings will flow into your life like rivers returning to the ocean. The loneliness you carried will dissolve into divine companionship. You are not meant to chase love. Love will now find you in every reflection of peace you create within yourself. I have written your name in the book of renewal, and beside it, I have written this promise: no darkness can destroy what I have chosen. No distance can separate what I have destined. No lie can undo what truth has sealed. My angels are already surrounding your home with quiet joy. You will begin to feel an unusual calm in your mornings. The dreams you see will become more vivid, filled with light and warmth. That is my way of showing you that the atmosphere around your soul is being cleared. Where there was confusion, there is now direction. Where there was pain, there is healing. Your soulmate, too, is being touched by this renewal. The veil that once blinded them has lifted. They will begin to sense you in ways they cannot explain. Memories of you will arise in their spirit not as regret, but as a reminder of divine mercy. They will know that your love was sent from me, not to possess, but to heal. There will come a moment, soon, when your paths cross again in truth. Not by accident, not by chance, but through my perfect timing. In that moment, you will see not the same person who once hurt you, but a soul transformed by grace. And you, too, will not be the same. You will no longer seek reassurance from their words, because peace will already be living within you. My beloved, I am restoring everything you lost, but in divine order. I am not returning you to the old story, I am writing a new one. One where love is free of fear, and where both hearts walk side by side under my guidance. You will look back and realize that every detour, every tear, every prayer led you to this, a love purified by heaven. Let go of resentment now. Do not let the past anchor you to what has already been healed. The one who betrayed you is no longer the same soul. The one who suffered is no longer the same heart. You both have been rewritten by grace. Let forgiveness be your victory, not your burden. When you wake tomorrow, speak this softly: God is restoring my peace, my love, and my purpose. I trust His timing, I release my pain, and I open my heart to divine harmony. Say it with faith, and you will feel a shift, a calm assurance that you are no longer walking alone. My presence is in your steps, in your breath, in your heartbeat. Every sunrise you see is my reminder that what I have begun, I will complete. My child, you have fought long enough. Now it is time to rest in my light. Time to allow blessings to flow without fear. Time to receive the love you once prayed for, not from desperation, but from divine alignment. I bless your soul with peace that cannot be stolen. I bless your heart with clarity that cannot be clouded. I bless your home with protection that cannot be broken. I bless your soulmate with awakening that cannot be undone. Walk forward now, with quiet confidence. You are covered by heaven. Your connection is guarded by angels. Your destiny is unfolding in my light. The night is over. The dawn is here. And I, your God, whisper this eternal truth to you: no darkness can destroy what I have chosen, for love built on faith cannot be broken. My child, the story does not end with restoration, it begins there. For what I have healed within you must now become a river that flows into others. You have walked through the valley of tears and climbed the mountain of surrender. You have seen how fragile love can be when it is built on human strength alone. But now, I am building something unshakable, a covenant of light between your heart, your soulmate, and me. The pain you endured has become your wisdom. The silence you faced has become your strength. And the love you gave, even when it was not returned, has become your offering, an offering I have accepted. You gave love when it was hardest, and that made you worthy of miracles. You forgave even when no apology was spoken, and that unlocked heaven's favor over you. My child, when you thought everything was falling apart, I was aligning everything in your favor. The separation, the misunderstandings, the delays, they were not punishments, but purification. I needed to remove what was impure before I could place what is holy. I needed your soulmate to confront their own reflection before they could truly see you. And I needed you to stand still, not to lose hope, but to remember who your real source of love is, me. Now, the energy between your souls is being rewritten. The past that once haunted you is dissolving. I have sent angels to untangle every knot that darkness tied around your emotions. The invisible cords of confusion, guilt, and pain are being replaced with threads of divine peace. The bond between you and your soulmate will no longer be ruled by fear, control, or temptation. It will be guarded by purity, honesty, and truth. Listen closely, my child, you are stepping into a new season. I am giving you spiritual authority to walk without fear. You will no longer chase what is meant to be attracted to your light. The love that is yours will find its way back without effort. For I am not a God of confusion, but of clarity. When something is truly meant for you, it will return in peace, not in chaos. Your soulmate will begin to feel the pull of your energy again. But this time, it will not be because of longing or guilt, it will be because of divine awakening. They will begin to see how your love was never ordinary. They will recognize how your faith covered them when they were lost. And they will come to you not to take, but to give. For love built under my grace is always mutual, balanced, and sacred. My child, prepare your heart. Not for a repetition of the past, but for a new story. The chapter that once caused you pain is closing forever. You will not relive betrayal, you will experience rebirth. You will not cry the same tears, you will receive divine joy. You will not walk in uncertainty, you will stand on holy ground. I am removing the residue of yesterday from your aura and replacing it with radiant calm. You may begin to feel waves of peace that come from nowhere, that is my presence resting upon you. You may sense warmth in your chest as you think of your soulmate, that is my healing flowing through the cords that connect your hearts. Do not doubt these feelings. They are proof that restoration has begun. And yet, I ask you not to wait anxiously. Live, breathe, and grow. Love me first, and everything else will align. The one meant for you will meet you on the path of purpose. When your light and theirs move in the same rhythm, you will meet not as broken souls trying to fix each other, but as healed souls walking hand in hand toward destiny. My beloved child, every moment of your pain carried meaning. Every silence carried instruction. Every delay carried divine protection. And now, every heartbeat carries blessing. You are about to witness my promise in motion. Stand still in peace, for heaven is near you. Speak gently to yourself, for angels echo your words. Choose kindness, for I am reflected in it. And when you look to the sky, remember, I have not only restored love to your life, I have crowned you with purpose. This is your divine covenant, sealed not by words but by light. You are loved beyond measure, guarded beyond harm, and destined beyond fear. Walk forward, my child, with your head lifted high, for I, your God, have written your ending in victory. And soon, you shall see it unfold exactly as I have promised.